Hi everybody, today we will be reviewing rocket science application on interactive flat panel. So as we launch the app, let's start with the setting menu at the right upper corner. In order to access the settings and change the language and other graphical setup, you need to press with your finger to bring the menu. On the left side, you'll be able to choose the language that you want. So by default, it's in English. You can also choose the graphical settings from high to low, also the resolution, and very cool feature called dynamic resolution. We will see it in a work just in a bit later. We can also set up the background music and the level of the voiceover as we will be watching the animations and explanatory text. Besides that, our app can perform completely in an offline session. In order to do that, you can press the download course buttons. Here you will be offered all available education programs according to certain country standards and curriculum. For example, we can choose the Cambridge one and choose the secondary, which is IGCSE, and inside that we can choose the proper subjects like physics, and inside physics it's already divided by grades. Inside grades you can choose the chapters, and inside chapters you can choose the topic of your desire, or you can just select the whole subject or maybe whole education program, or just press the name of the program and you will be downloading all the available content into your local system. So you can press download all or download selected. After that, it might take about 2 hours depending on the internet connection, and the app will wait about 12 gigabytes in total. So in order to access the information of your license key, you can press the license information on the right upper corner. Here you'll be seeing the current version of the app that is installed on your PC or panel, first and last digits of your activation key, and validity of the license. Same information can be brought if you press the icon of ROQED at the left upper corner. This icon here represents the Wi-Fi. If you turn it off, it basically means that you will not be accessing an internet and app will not be seeking any internet connection, which means you can successfully launch any loaded app without active connection. Now let's take a look at the main menu here. If we scroll down, we'll be able to see all the content which is not structurized or structurized randomly by recently opened or alphabetically. We can also reverse it in alphabetical manner, just like this and just like this. So I'd rather choose recently opened models here, and you might notice some of the screenshots have these type of arrows, which means they are not loaded into my local PC. In order to do that, I can just press the icon here and the model would be downloaded in the background and I'll be able to access it in no time. So before accessing it, let's learn how to structurize the content and look for the right subjects that we want to teach. In order to do that, we can go to the filters. Inside filters, we can choose the needed education curriculum like Cambridge. Inside that, let's dive deeper into the subject, biology. Great. And now I am left with all relative subjects and topics that I can teach in biology at the 11th grade. Now, besides that, we can also choose, let's say, secondary school, similarly biology and different grade like 9. Here I'm offered different set of topics. Let's say you've been browsing certain content and you find some objects very attractive and useful for your next subject, and you want to save it for later review. So you can download it and add the star at the right upper corner of each screenshot. What it does, it adds the list of the favorites model into a specific list, just like this. Now we can access the same Earth model from my shortlist. If you want to delete it, you can unselect the star and it will be gone, just like this. Now we have different type of content here. Study the structure of a 3D model or look and watch for interactive animations. Now, if we choose the animations, I will be left with the type of content that has interactive animations for teachers to show and share with kids. If I choose structure, it means I will be using 3D models in order to study the structure of a particular part or object, just like an engine or a molecule or a skull and so forth. So let's start with learning the structure. We press the object. I'm offered two type of options here: a course study structure or creating your own presentation. We'll consider that a bit later. Let's start with exploring of the course. As we launch the study of the structure,
demonstrates the structure of the main component of the body's covering system, the skin. It forms a barrier that protects the body from
here what you're hearing is the voiceover of the app, which reads basic description of my 3D model. Now, in order to control my parts in the screen, with two fingers I can slide my objects on a plane, like back and forth, not back and forth, but rather up and down, left and right. In order to zoom in and zoom out, I'm using two fingers, bringing them closer or pulling them apart, just like this. You probably have noticed that whenever I touch my screen, the image gets blurred. This is the function of the dynamic resolution. So what it does, when the model is stationary, it gets high resolution. But whenever you start manipulating any manipulation operation, it will get blurred just like this. This is very quite convenient option for low-end hardwares, whether it's a PC or interactive panel. Now let's understand how this control button works. First of all, they are the same on the left and the right side of the screen. For me, it's convenient to stay on this side, so we multiplicate it. For some of them, some of the teachers, they might stand just here. Let's start from the top to down, and here is a drawing pen. It's an in-app drawing pen which basically allows you to do your annotations while you are explaining any subject. And if you want to erase it, similar operation, just like this. Now let's say that you might want to share with kids, give some notes, then you can press the save button here. Basically the app does the screenshot, saves in a local storage, and later you can send it to kids or students. In order to exit this mode, just tap again the pen and you'll be out of it in no time. The next button is the definition button. Basically what it does, it allows you to read the definition of everything that is available here, including the description of the object. But what's more important, pressing this button, we will bring in the all objects that are described here. So like blood vessels. Now the encyclopedia changed, able to read the definition of a derma, and this definition is available in all languages that you've been seeing in the settings, including also the voiceover function. The voiceover function reads the explanatory text behind these objects. Let me demonstrate it for you.
Hair is an epithelial filamentous appendage in the skin that develops from epidermal cells. The flexible hair shaft can...
What it does, if you press twice on each object, the camera will fly directly to it and concentrates your attention into it. Another great function is a play button. If you press the play button here, similar operation would be available in terms of reading the explanatory text, and jumping from one part of the object into another.
Hair is an epithelial filamentous appendage. This hair grows in the hair follicle by dividing.
As the voiceover explains, you can press the pause here. Provide your own explanation. Do the annotation if you want in order to discuss the question with kids and move on with your lesson. Now, in order to do any type of manipulation with the objects, you can press the move button. What it does, it allows you manually drag and drop any part of my 3D model. If for some reason you're not able to see the background due to the same color, you can change it by bringing the setting menu and choosing the right color of your background. Now, you can also automatically explode the object by pressing this button and assemble it back, again pressing this button. So this is the structure mode. Besides providing manual operations with my object, I can also bring pre-installed automatically generated questions, which is very cool feature when you're teaching the subject in a classroom with full of students. So I'm not preparing anything, ROQED does everything for me. 3 types of assessment questions: assembling the object back on its place, selecting the right objects, and matching the labels with the object. If I press label matching, I'm now offered to match the labels with the right object. Boom. You might notice that whenever it's right, you will get the green background. If it's wrong, you'll get the red background. Just like that. So in order to complete the test, just press complete button and we can exit the test mode. Similar operations for the assembly, selecting the object, and label matching. Selecting the object is the same operation. We need to point out at the hair follicle on the screen. So if I think that this is the hair follicle, I need to confirm. That's right. Now the next is a sweet glands. If I don't know the answer or don't want to provide the answer to that, I can skip this choice and go to the sebaceous glands. Last but not the least is assembling the object, which is very cool and interactive assessment tools for kids to learn the structure of a particular 3D model. So we just need to gather back and build my 3D model back on its place, just like that, and keep going till I complete the assessment. So this will be it for overviewing the functionality of the mode called structure. Now we move to exploring what is behind animation. For animation, let's choose something very interesting, like for physics, 4-stroke engine, and obviously I can study the structure of the engine, or I can go and see how it works. Let's dive deeper into the thermodynamics and try to understand how internal combustion engine performs. So I just changed the background for the sake of convenience. Now what we're able to do here in the animation mode, I'm still able to see the model from all different perspectives, although I'm not able to explode it or manually disassemble it. Here I have limited tools. Still I have drawing pen, just like this. Still I have the explanatory text, which is relevant to each frame of the animation, and instead of the name of the objects, here I have frames. So if I press first frame, now I'm seeing how engine performs, the animation of an internal combustion engine. Now let's try to understand how gas distribution mechanism works, then we can move to the working cycle. Eventually going to the first stroke engine, first stroke intake. At any time I can pause it, which is very cool, and show the animation from all different perspectives to kids, just like this, and launch it back. Yep. And pausing it, I can bring the pen and explain what is behind this animation, like deriving the formula or explaining the PV diagram, you name it. So this menu that you're seeing here and this text can also be displayed from here, and also we can turn on the voiceover, just like this.
The piston moves upward. All valves are closed.
Here on a horizontal line, you're also able to choose the frames. Basically, it's the same menu which replicates the vertical position of your frames with the horizontal one. Sometimes it's easy to browse the vertical one if you have lots of frames. Meanwhile, here you can choose the right one and see. Similarly, going back and rewinding backward and forward. And at any time, pause it, give enough room, and you can draw a diagram just like that. Eventually describing all the processes that are relevant to this particular engine working cycle and providing insights and relate the theoretical knowledge to the practical application. Then last but not the least, we also offer a mode where teachers are able to create their own presentations and explain. So if we choose any object and go to the presentation, we can create our own presentation using the existing 3D models. Now I'm able to create presentations just like this. So let's type a name here. So this will be my slide number 1. In order to set up the camera, just leave whenever you want it and add another slide. As you add another slide, we can turn on the move button and start dissecting it. Let's get rid of the layers and concentrate on the internal parts. Now let's name this slide as lungs. Again, if you just move to the next slide, the app will capture its current position on camera and also the parts of a model. Now we can start dissecting it and taking closer view from different angle, just like this. On this slide, I would like to interact with kids. So in order to ask questions, you can press the question mark here and enter your question. There are two types of them, true or false and multiple choice. Let's start with a multiple choice where we can enter our own question and different choice of answer. Let's say it's an ear or maybe lungs. We can also add a different type of choices, adding another option. The right choice would be lungs, and I save it. Now, in order to add more slides or more questions, I just need to add another slide, and let's say that I want to add here a true or false, and particularly I want to ask about the diaphragm, for example. We can add another question here, so true or false, and obviously that is not true, but rather false would be the right answer. This is it. So in order to start your presentation, just press this button here and you'll be moved directly to the page 0. So slide number 1, if we're explaining the material to students, we can do the annotations just like this, then come back, move to the next slide where camera position, the setup of a model is already stationary saved, so I can concentrate and partially provide the right delivery of an information to kids. And when it comes to question, I can ask questions just like this. So a very interesting question might arise, how to save this work for later presentation. Here on the right side of the screen, you can press it and save your presentation and save. Presentation is saved in your local storage in documents folder ROQED. You can launch it anytime you want. You can also send this presentation to your colleagues so they can open your work and use it if they want to teach just like you. So in order to access that type, we don't want to save results, you can go directly to your presentations and it already saved there. If you want to open somebody's work or something that you have downloaded, press the open button here and find it in your directory. Then you can launch it just like this. Just like this. Okay. Currently we are in editor mode, but now we are in the presenter mode. So basically I have just commands back and forward, and basically this is it. You can launch also presentation directly from the model itself, where you can use the learning the structure, launching the animation, or launching your prepared presentation. Now we're launching the animation in order to show you what type of animation it also provides. We can explore inhale and exhale processes. We can see how intercostal muscles work and understand the general principle of breathing in and breathing out the air. So exploring the rest of the content and the rest of the topics I will leave for you. I hope you enjoyed this session, and if you have any questions, please comment down below or send us inquiry. Bye bye.